Hey, badass. Welcome to Keepin It Real, the podcast where we ditch the nonsense, say it like it is, and redefine what it means to feel good in your body and your life. I'm Misty Tripoli, creator of the Groove Method, and I'm here to help you move, dance, and live authentically and unapologetically. So if you're ready to break free from the societal expectations, embrace your truth, and find your own unique groove, you are in the right place. So let's keep it real, let's keep it wild, and let's keep it moving. This is talking about Abraham Hicks, and just everything she said resonated, and I loved it. And then she started talking about, so I'd listen to her every morning. It was awesome. But what was interesting is I started to learn all this information, but I wasn't applying all of it, like actively doing a practice of application. It was just, I understood it. I was studying it. It was interesting. I agreed with it. But outside of it, I wasn't doing my own practice. And so it dawned on me, I need to do my own practice. What would happen if I actually applied what she's teaching on a daily basis? And she had these rants about money. And I loved her approach because it wasn't affirmations. Because I have a really hard time with affirmations. I always have. It was like, I'm trying to convince myself of something that's not true, and it doesn't feel true. I have $1 million. La, 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 la. Like making these statements felt wrong. It felt off to me. But when she would say it, it made sense because she was like, frequency is the language of the universe. You need to attune yourself to that frequency of what it is that you want. It's not necessarily a believing that you can have it and all of that. It's actually, you just become it. You have to tune into the fucking frequency. And so that made sense to me. So I decided to put this into practice. So for about 2 weeks, every morning, I would play this rant. And you can like YouTube it and you'll like see rants like Abraham Hicks rant on money, rant on relationships, whatever. And I would every morning sit and listen to her for like 5-10 minutes being like, it feels so good to have all the money that I need. It felt like I can feel the avalanches of money coming towards me and on me and over me. And I could feel that in my body. And then I would shut her off and then I would just sit with it and feel how good it would feel to be supported, to have more money than I even knew what to do with. That how good, oh my God, that would feel so good. I could actually feel that. And that was the key that unlocked the fucking thing. And that's what actually literally plugged me into the frequency of abundance and money. Because within 2 weeks, out of nowhere, these guys that recorded that video of me, we're now looking like 5-6 years later, maybe even more, since we recorded that video. Lots of time has passed and they've tried many things to try to sell it. Nothing worked because it looks so different. People don't understand it. And it looks weird because it doesn't look like these normal fitness things where everyone's doing the same fucking thing. I'm all about everyone do something fucking different because you're different. So do it different. So Body Groove looked different and they couldn't sell it. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, because every year they'd call me and be like, oh, we tried this, didn't work. And I was like, okay, but hopefully someday people will get it because it makes a lot of sense. And they're like, are you sitting down? And, they call me, are you sitting down? I'm like, yeah. Like, we've got some really great news for you. I was like, what? And they're like, well, we took a whole year to study Facebook advertising. And we decided to apply everything that we learned from Facebook advertising onto Delicious Dance because we really think there's something here. And they're like, we, put our first ad in for like $25. And I think we made like $3 or $4 grand off the $25. And they're like, but we decided to repeat it. We thought, is it a fluke? Let's repeat it again. And we've been repeating it. And we need your bank account because we'd like to send you some money. And I was like, what the fuck? Okay. And my first deposit was $10,000. And I literally was like, wow, like I haven't seen that much money in my bank account since I presented for Les Mills 5 years ago, kind of a thing. But I'd never really had money in my bank. But this was like, oh my God, I actually have a cushion. Oh my God, I have a cushion. How good does that feel to have some type of cushion? But I continued with my daily practice. And then within a couple of weeks, they contact me and they're like, we're quitting our jobs. We're sending you more money. And we're actually going to create the company Body Groove. Just so you know, we're doing this. And I really like these guys. These guys were like just really good dudes. And I could trust them from the beginning. And I still can. I've been working with them for however many years, and they're fabulous. It's great working with men and not having to manage people's personalities. Working with women is awesome, but a lot of it is because women are so much typically more sensitive and emotional. And so it's a very different running the World Groove movement and working with Body Groove are two completely different things. And that's another whole topic for another whole episode about, the difference between working with men and women and what that's like and just how we are and how beautiful it is that we're so different. And if anyone says we're the same, we are not the same. We have the same value, but we are not the same. Anyways, so these guys were great. They sent me then $50,000. Now I'm about to shit my pants. I've never, in all of my 46 years at this point, ever saw that much money in my bank at one time. And what was interesting is that when I would journal, that's what I wrote in my journal. I now make $50,000 a month. And I'd written that for years and years. And it was funny. That was the deposit that was made. Now that's irrelevant. Thank God. As it should be, because there's enough for everyone. And that was another thing, is that there just wasn't enough money. If the rich people have it all, there's not enough for everyone else. Bullshit. There's enough for everybody. They want us to think there's not, because it keeps us on the fucking hamster wheel. And that sucks. So now Body Groove is flying and I'm starting to make money. And the World Groove movement is also starting to make money. Not enough for me to actually pay salaries. There's thousands of dollars coming in, but those thousands of dollars coming in every month are to pay the people that are helping me run the business, the master trainers, my sister, rebuilding websites. It all just went back in. I never made that much money, but until COVID. When COVID hit, everything exploded to another level, which was awesome because people needed an outlet and dance was perfect for that. So that's another whole story too. Jesus, there's so many stories. But that was the moment that shifted everything for me with money. And I started to see money I'd never seen before. My mind was blown. I was just an avalanche. And then I got scared because I was afraid I was going to lose it. It's interesting. I'd never had it, but now I had it. Now I'm afraid it's going to go somewhere. So it's not going to do anything in the bank. It has to do something. And around this time, I had been invited to become a part of the Association of Transformational Leaders because I was out there teaching these concepts and ideas. And so they invited me to be a part of their association. And within that, we would meet up and they'd bring in speakers and amazing people in their field. And one guy from Japan, I'll have to remember his name, but he wrote a book called Happy Money. And he was talking about how money is feminine and money needs to dance. And when he said that, I was like, of course it does. It's a feminine energy that wants to create and you need to move it. It needs to flow. You need to create with it. And that made a lot of sense to me. That was like, okay, so this money, I'm not going to leave it in the bank. I'm going to create something with it. I'm going to move it. I'm going to dance with it. Let's play. So I bought a house in California for my sister and my family. I knew I wasn't going to live there, but my sister needed a new place to live. And I was like, I need an investment. So that was where I bought my first house. And she still lives in there today. She loves it. That's her dream home. She's like, they're going to have to pull me out of here in a body bag. She's like, this is my house forever. And it is a beautiful home. And so that's in the family and that's awesome. And I also built it so in case something happens with my family or anyone needs a place to stay, there's always room and a place for people to go in my family. All right, fierce ones, that's a wrap for today. Thanks for keeping it real and grooving with me. If you're loving this vibe, be sure to subscribe, share, and leave a review so that we can keep this movement alive. Remember, this journey is all about you. You owning your own truth, trusting your instincts, and living boldly. Stay true, stay wild, and most importantly, keep being unapologetically you. So until next time, let's keep it real.